Hello students, my name is Shittu, your mathematics teacher. This video is brought to you by Ighota Virtual Learning. In this video, we shall be solving WAEC questions on the topics Surds, logical reasoning, matrices and determinants, and ratio and proportion. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to solve the questions correctly and with other related questions. So now I want you to take note that practicing WAEC questions will make you pass your WAEC. So today we start from surds. The question said given that root 3 plus root 5 over root 5 equals x plus y root 15, and we have all of this, we are asked to find x plus y. So therefore I would like you to pause this video, go and attempt this question, right? So you can come back to check for the validity of what you got. Now here we have, now we want to look for x plus y according to the question. So we don't actually have problem with the right hand side, so we have problem with this left hand side. So this is telling us that we are going to solve this completely, right? So when we solve this one completely, we're going to have our result to be in the form of this right hand side. Then we can now compare which one is our x and which one is y. Okay, so now let's see. If we want to do that, we can see we have this denominator to be root 5, which is radical. So therefore we are going to rationalize by clearing this radical sign. So therefore this is going to be root 3 plus root 5 over root 5. Therefore we're going to multiply this both numerator and the denominator by this root 5 that is down here, root 5. So this dot means multiplication, right? So now from there, and here also we have dots here, it is multiplication. So now this root 5, you open the bracket, so we're going to have root 5 times this is going to give us root what? Root 5 times 3, okay, then plus root 5 times 5, this will be root 5 times 5 over root 5 times 5, this will be root 5 times 5. Are you getting it now? So this implies that here 5 times this, that will give us root 15, plus here 5 times 5 will give us root 25 all over root what? Root 25. So now from there we can see that this is going to give us root 15 will be root 15, we cannot split that, then plus root 25 is going to give us 5, that is a number that multiplies itself 2 times, that is square root. And the square root of 25 means what is that number that multiplies itself 2 times that gives 25, and that is 5. So therefore the square root of 25 is 5. So the same thing here, the square root of 25 here is 5. So now lastly, we can now rewrite this here by having, let me take 5 to the front, then plus root 15, then divided by what? Divided by 5. So now from here we can now split this. We can split this having it to be 5 over 5 because they are sharing the same denominator, plus root 15 over what? Over 5. So now from here you're going to see that this is going to be 1 plus, here we have 1 here to be the coefficient of root 15 here, though is what? Is invisible. So therefore we're going to be having 1 over 5, then root what? Root 15. So now when you compare this with what we have up here, you can see comparing this with x plus y root 15. So you can see that the x is what? X is 1 and y is 1 over 5. So if you now want to have x plus y, this is going to be 1 plus 1 over 5, and that's going to be one whole number, because this is a whole number and this is a fraction, one whole number and 1 over 5. So we have our solution to be one whole number 1 over 5. Now let's check what we have at the option. We can see we have whole number 1 over 5 here. So therefore we have this to be our solution, right? Let's have example 2 on sort. So if root 24 plus root 96 minus root 600 equals y root 6, the question has us to find the value of y given these options here. Now, I would like you to pause the video, go and solve this video yourself, then come back to check for the validity of your answer. So now here, I'm going to start. So I'm going to rewrite all of this. So now from here, I'm going to be writing this in a similar or in a simpler form. Now when you look at this right hand side, the right hand side is y root 6. So now this is telling us that when you simplify this further completely, that is the left hand side, you are going to have your result in this form, which is y root 6. So therefore you should know that here you are going to have a final answer having something root 6. Since we have 6 here, we are going to see how if you divide 24 by 6, let's see what you are going to have. This will be splitted. 24, this is going to be 4 times 6 plus the root of 96. This is going to be 16 times 6 minus this is going to be 100 times 6 equals y root 6, right? So now from here we can also split this as having root 4 times root 6 plus root 16 times root 6 by splitting it minus root 100 times root 6 equals y root 6. Are you following? So now from there, the square root of 4 is 2. We have 2 times root 6. The square root of 16 is 4. 4 times root 6, we have 4 root 6. Now the square root of 100 is 10. I have 10 multiplied by root 6. So now we cannot, this root 6 is not a perfect square. That is why we leave it under the radical sign. We have y root 6. So from here now, since we have root 6, root 6, root 6 here, so they are like terms, so we can, they are like sort, so we can add them. So 2 plus 2, we have 6 root 6 minus 10 root 6 equals y root 6. So now what are we going to do? So taking 10 from 6, we're going to be having minus what? Minus 4 root 6 equals y root 6. So can you see what I'm saying now? So when you do the comparison now, this is root 6, this is root 6. So by comparison, you can see that y is equals to minus 4, right? So that's the solution. Now let's check this option. You can see we have y equals minus 4. So therefore, the option D is the solution to this problem. Matrices and determinants. So the question said if Q is this, that is, if you have the matrix Q to be this matrix Q, you can see this is 9 and 2, that is a row, minus 7 and 4, that's another row. So this is 2 by 2 matrix, that is the order of this matrix is 2 by 2 because 2 rows, 2 columns. So then this Q is what? So now the Q, you see this 2 by here, that is telling us determinant. Whenever you have that determinant. So what they are telling us that what is the determinant of this matrix Q? So now solution, let me rewrite the Q to be 9 minus 2 minus 7 and 4. So what would be Q determinant? Now I would like you to recall that if you have this, let's say we have a matrix A, for example, to be let me use P instead, to be A, B, C, D. Okay, so the P, that is this determinant P, will be A times D, A times D minus C times B. That's what you're going to have. Diagonally, A times D minus C times B. Right, so that is what we are going to use here. For the Q, Q is going to be, so this is like my 9 is like my A, 4 is like my D, then B here is like minus 2, and minus 7 here is like C. So therefore I'm going to multiply this by this. So I have 9 times 4, then the minus here is from the formula, okay, it's constant. Then we have C. C is this one here, which is minus 7, right? Then times minus 2. Okay, so we're going to be having the determinant Q to be 9 times 4, that is what? That is 36. Then minus, so we first multiply this and this together before this minus 7 times minus 2, so we're going to be having minus 40. We are going to be having 14, so we have 14 here. Then here we have Q to be equals 36 minus 14, that's going to give us 22. So therefore we have the determinant here to be 22. So let's check the option. Yes, we can see option C here is the solution, because when this happens, right, so we're going to have 22. Now the question 2 under these determinants, matrices and determinants, state that find the determinant of P. Find the determinant of P if P is this. So you can see this is also 2 by 2 matrix, right? Then we have these options here. So what are you going to do if you have this kind of problem? So kindly pause this video, then solve your own, then after come and check the validity of your solution. Right, so here we're going to follow what we have up here in our first solution example. So we have what we have this. We want to get the determinant of P, and determinant of P is telling us that you're going to multiply this by this, so that's going to be cos theta multiplied by cos theta, and minus sine theta multiplied by sine theta. Can you see? Then we have P equals, now cos theta times cos theta, so we're going to be having cos square theta, that is cos theta square. Then here we're going to have minus, then minus sine theta times minus sine theta, this will give us minus sine square theta. So now from here we have the determinant of P will be cos square theta times minus will give us plus sine square theta. Are you following? So we have the determinant of P. Now recall from trig identity. Recall from what? From trigonometry. So when you have cos square theta plus sine square theta, this will definitely give us 1. So therefore, which is the same thing we have here. So now we can see that cos square theta plus sine square theta will actually give us 1. So the determinant of this matrix P is given to be 1. So now let's check the options we have up there. Is it 1? Do we have 1 there? So you can see the option D. So therefore this option D is the solution. Let's look at the other question that is coming from ratios, proportion and rate. So we have this question here. The question states that 3 boys shared 10,500 naira in the ratio 6:7:8. Find the largest share. Is it going to be 4,000, 5,000, 4,500, 3,500? So what are you going to have? So now I would like you to do this yourself. Pause the video, then do it. Then after, come here and check for the validity of your result. So now from here, we're going to move. Now here, let's try to look at, we're going to look at this ratio here. That is, let's first find the total the total ratio. So we are going to add all of this together, 6 plus 7 plus 8. When you add this together, you're going to be having this to be 21. So therefore, the total ratio, when you add all the ratios together, you're going to have 21. Then after, the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to find a share. This a share will be the rate, okay, of sharing for these 3 shares, because we are having 3 ratios, so which is telling us that, and 3 boys, so it means that each boy is having this ratio respectively. So therefore a share means the rate of sharing, okay, and it has to be the same for all of them. So therefore it's going to be the total money to be shared, the total money to be shared, then divided by the total ratio. That is how to get us to get your a share. So now getting a share, we're going to have the total money, which is what, 10,500 naira, okay, then divided by the total ratio, which is 21. So now when you divide this, you can see that this is going to give us 500 naira. So now from here, since you have 500 naira, so what do you think you're going to do next? So what we are going to do next is we are going to be picking, the first share, which is 6. So we're going to be picking the ratio 6, then multiply it by a share, which is what, 500 naira. So we're going to be having this to be 6 times 5, that will be 3 down, everything be 3,000 naira. So now we have the second share will be the second ratio, which is 7. So this will be 7 multiplied by 500 naira, which is a share that we got here. So we're going to have 7 times this is going to be 3,500 naira. Then the third share is going to be picking the 8 times 500 naira. So this is going to be 8 times 500 naira, that's going to give us 4,000 naira. So these are the possible shares we have. Now we are now going to look at, out of this, which is the largest. We can see that 4,000 is the largest. Now let's now check the options we have up there. Is there any 4,000 naira there? So you can see we have 4,000 naira here, so which is option A. So we have this option A to be the solution to the problem, right? So let's look at this question number 4, and this is coming from logical reasoning. So the question states that consider the statements Now we have the statement P state that Stephen is intelligent. So this P represent this statement, Stephen is intelligent. Then we have Q representing Stephen is good at mathematics, right? So now if P, this sign means implies, that is implication, implies, right? So now if P implies Q, that is how to pronounce that. Which of the following is a valid conclusion? Alright, so here I would like you to understand this. This is logical, okay? So Stephen is intelligent. So for Stephen to be intelligent, so this implies that Stephen is good at mathematics, because it takes an intelligent person, to be good at mathematics. Right? So the statement, this P implies Q, is like compound statement that is combining this P and Q together, and that's why we have P implies Q. So which is the following is the valid conclusion. So now we have these options here. Now let's look at the option. So option here, if Stephen is good at mathematics, then he is intelligent. So therefore this A cannot be the solution, because from here you can see the intelligent is the first statement, but here you can see good at mathematics, okay, to be the first here and take the intelligent to be the second, so which shows that is wrong. So now let's look at B. If Stephen is not good at mathematics, then he is intelligent. So if you look at this one here, so they use negation here. When you see not, that means negation. Is not good at mathematics, then he is intelligent. So we cannot relate this to this. They also take mathematics first here, good at mathematics, and intelligent. So it has to be stated the way we have it up there. So now this one is not also the solution. Now let's look at option C. If Stephen is not intelligent, then he is not good at mathematics. Okay, now let's look at this one. If Stephen is not intelligent, actually they use not here and they also use not here in this second statement. But what I want us to know that here, if Stephen is not intelligent, then he is not good. So it is sure, okay, that when Stephen is not intelligent, definitely is not going to be good in mathematics or at mathematics, right? So here they pick the intelligent first according to what we have up here. Stephen is intelligent, and here also not, they put the mathematics to be the last statement. But the only thing here is that they use negation here, which is the best conclusion to this. All right, so it's like this C is trying to negate the statement we have here, but that is just the truth, because if Stephen is not intelligent, then it's not good at mathematics. So this is the solution, okay. Then if Stephen is not good at mathematics, then he is not intelligent. This one should also have been the option, but here they put mathematics first before the intelligence. So intelligence should have come first before the mathematics, right? So I believe you understand what we did here. So this is not the solution. So now we have the main solution here is what is this option C, and that is our answer, right? So now thank you so much for your time, for giving us a maximum attention. So thank you, bye bye, we meet some other time.